All right, hi everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Cap Trail Meetups. We're going to be speaking with Ted and Ephraim, some of our Capital Trail ambassadors today. Hey guys, how are you?
Doing great. Good to see you.
Good.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so first things first, how did you become a trail ambassador? How did you get started with the program?
You want to go first, Ephraim?
Sure. I guess I was a trail ambassador before I was a trail ambassador. I mean, that's the bottom line for me. I was on the trail a lot anyway, and I found out about the Capital Trail Foundation, and on occasion would send email.
I remember those.
Yeah. About things I had noticed or whatever, and I think I can probably blame you that I became a trail ambassador then, Kat, if you remember them, because I think that's what happened. Is someone from the foundation kind of suggested to me is, well, you're kind of a ambassador anyway, so why don't you become a trail ambassador? So I found out what that entailed and realized it was pretty much what I was doing anyway. So learned from the best of them. Took some training with Chan, and the rest is history, as they say.
What about you, Ted?
Okay, yeah, and I've got to rewind history back until about 2009, I would say. I've been kind of loosely associated with the trail as a volunteer for, at that time, probably 4 years, maybe 5. And because I was familiar with other trails, they had some kind of an organization that put people out on the trail with a mission to just make it a safer and a better experience for the users. So it just seemed like a natural, as the trail was being built, that the Virginia Capital Trail needed something similar. So in 2010, I made a contact with the C&O Trail and was able to shadow their rangers for a half a day, riding with them on the trail, seeing what they do and did. And then in the following year, made contact with the W&OD Trail up in the DC area also, and did something similar and met with them for a day. And so after that, we came back with some ideas and proposed to the then Executive Director, Beth Weisbrod, that this might make sense for the Virginia Capital Trail. And so as we were trying to figure out how to get that going, Chan Money, who was a patroller with the W&OD, contacted me and said, hey, I'm retiring and I'm moving to the area, and I hear you're interested in starting up what eventually became the ambassadors. So we got together, and in the fall of 2012, we formed a group patterned after the 2 other trails that we were familiar with.
Wonderful. All right, so as simply put as possible, what does a trail ambassador do?
Eyes and ears. How's that for being simple? We are the eyes
Really
and
good.
ears. Yeah, eyes and ears. Would you agree, Ted?
I wouldn't, and I would add, my concept of the ambassadors is we are there to enhance the user experience in whatever form that takes. It could be identifying maintenance, it could be helping with a mechanical or a medical issue, or just plain giving them information. And then we support the foundation itself in their running of the trail by, as you say, being the eyes and the ears.
And that's a good point, Ted. We're there for other users on the trail as well, too. And that's more than the eyes and ears, trying to make it a positive experience, being there to give directions. If someone's got a flat, we're there to do some minor mechanical assistance as well, too. And that goes a long way. I think a lot of people like trail ambassadors because of the help we provided over the years.
And you're very recognizable out there in your orange vests.
That's actually why
Pretty easy spot.
That's why we become trail ambassadors, if no one's told you. It's really just
really?
for the vest. Yeah.
And we're trying to make a fashion statement.
Right. All right. How can someone become a trail ambassador? you know?
Well,
You
first
remember how
off,
you signed up?
Had to
they
do with
can,
the
they can
had to do with
contact
the internet, right?
they can talk to an existing ambassador or an ambassador, and then we would direct them back to making contact with Claire. The other way would be certainly to tap into the web and find out when the next training is, and find the information that has been posted on the Trail Ambassadors page on the website.
Right.
And also there's the Facebook page as well too. I think that's helpful. But you're right. A lot of times when you'll offer somebody advice or something, you'll introduce yourself as being a trail ambassador, and you could see by their face they don't have a clue what that is. So you take a step back and you kind of explain that. And every once in a while you see the light go off and they go, "That's really cool." Of course, you never really know how many of those people end up signing up, but our numbers have really increased, Claire, over the last year or so. What are we up to now?
We're in triple digits.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's known as the Claire effect. Because once you took over, we started growing by double digits.
It's all about that marketing.
That's right.
All right. So, lastly, what is your favorite spot on the trail?
Well, I'll go first on that one.
Please,
Okay.
I got to think about it.
Okay.
For me, it's mile marker 0 to mile marker 6.5, or for those that are familiar with James City Counties, from the Jamestown Trailhead out to Chickahominy Riverfront Park. That was the very first section that was put into service in 2006, I believe it was. And that's still the area that I ride most frequently. Coming in second is, and I don't know the mile marker, but it is the, just as you crest and start going down into Richmond and you see the Richmond skyline for a few miles. That's, I think, probably the most rural scenic part of the trail.
You're right. That's a really great view on that.
It
and
is.
It's kind of funny. That brings up a story. A lot of people who, since I live in Richmond and usually start in Shiplock Park, if I'll be asking people how far they're going, or I find out they're not from the area, they'll ask, "Is it flat?" And I'll usually tell them, "Yes, it's very flat," because that's kind of a relative word. But then people will bellyache about those little pimples, those little bumps coming out of Richmond, but some people call those hills. So you need to be careful about that. Those are big hills for some people. So Claire and I've had this discussion before.
Many
so
times.
Now that I've had time to think about it, and Claire probably knows what my answer is going to be, probably mile mark 0 to mile mark 35.8, or just before 36. And that's where the Virginia Capitol Trail and the Trans Am bike route are the same. So I love to be cycling on that and finding people all decked out with panniers with gear, and bothering them, about how far they're going. If it's really neat to catch them going towards Jamestown. That means it's their last day, and they've got probably less than 55 miles or so to finish a 4,200 mile bike trip. So that's probably my favorite part. No big deal.
Really casual ride. All right. Well, thank you both. It's good talking to you.
Good talking to you, and good seeing you both. Ciao. Bye.
Bye.